I'm Adobe Certified Instructor Jeff Witchel, and today's Illustrator tutorial is titled Gradient Mesh Magic. What is the secret to mastering the mysterious mesh tool? First, remember it's a very practical tool. Use it when it makes sense, like making a vector airbrush rendition of an existing photo. Second is technique. I learned this particular technique from Todd Ferris, whose illustrations have appeared in many books about Illustrator. Why don't I just go to his website? This particular car, there are no gradient meshes used at all. It was all blends and gradients. This was done even before there was transparency in Illustrator. So you can see a lot can be done without the gradient mesh. Let me just scroll down, however. And this particular illustration was taken from a photograph. And the gradient mesh was created in sections to almost create a wireframe of the image that was being rendered. Let me just scroll down a little bit further. This is a good example of when you would use a gradient mesh. This illustration needed to be blown up to a super large size in high resolution, and it was not possible with a photograph of the character or a Photoshop pixel image of the character. If you'd like to see more of Todd Ferris's work, just go to his website. Let me switch back to Illustrator. We're going to be rendering this image of a wine bottle, and you can see that the actual image itself is in a separate layer and it's locked, so we don't move it by accident. I'm going to zoom in a lot tighter, and then we'll be ready to get started. We're not going to be able to do the whole bottle or take the kind of care that I would normally take with this kind of illustration because we're working in a very short tutorial here. So let me go to my rectangle tool, and I'm just going to click and drag to try to match the outside dimensions of the bottle. And now I'm going to go to my gradient mesh tool and just click right in the center of this rectangle to make it into a gradient mesh object. But how do I pick up the color from the bottle? Well, even before we get there, we have to make this rectangle kind of match the outside shape of the bottle. So let me go to my direct selection tool, and I'm just going to click on this center point at the top. And I'm going to make the handles for that point a lot shorter. And now I'm going to click on the upper right point of my gradient mesh and just drag it inward. And you can see my handles are way too long. So let me click and drag on this handle to make it contour the shape of the bottle better. Click on my upper left corner and I'm going to drag it upward. I really should move in a lot closer to see what I'm doing. Go back to my direct selection tool and just try the best I can to match the shape. Let me pull this handle down with my direct selection tool. And this might be a little bit easier if I could actually see right through this gradient mesh. The way you do that is you go over the top of the visibility eye in your gradient mesh layer. Hold down your Command key on a Mac, Control key on a PC, and just click on that visibility eye. And that brings you into outline mode for just that one layer, so you can see what you're doing. Now it's much easier to adjust. So I am literally creating a wireframe of this object. Let me go to this particular point and drag it inward, and you can see I'm going to really have to mess with my handles here. Let me drag it in, and I'm not going to take the kind of care that I would normally take because this is a short tutorial. Let me just drag in this point. And it's really important that you match the outside shape of the object the best you can before you start adding a lot of extra points. Let me zoom out a little bit now, get a better idea of what I'm doing. I'm also going to want to match the three-dimensional shape of this bottle. So let me pull this point down a little bit more with my direct selection tool. And pull the handles down to make it look like it's actually going around the bottle. Remember, we're creating a wireframe. Let me do the same thing down over here. Click and drag it downward. Drag the handles down from the sides over here to make it more three-dimensional, maybe even a little bit more. Now let me add some extra points. I'm going to go to my gradient mesh tool, and I'm going to add all of the vertical lines in the mesh first. It looks like it's getting darker right over here, so let me add a point right there. And then it gets much darker again right over here, so let me do that. I probably would treat this highlight as a separate mesh over the top. But for now, I'm just creating my bottle shape mesh. I'm not going to worry about the highlight. And I'm not going to add a lot of points. And you can see it looks three-dimensional. It's really kind of cool. Let me add some points here. And now I think we're ready to start picking up the color. But how do we do that? You go to your direct selection tool and you click on the point that you want to select. And you can see it's white. It's a good indicator that I haven't done anything yet. Now I'm going to go to my eyedropper tool and I'm just going to click right above that point to pick up the color from the bottle itself. To switch back to my direct selection tool on a Mac, I'm going to hold down my Command key. And you can see it switches to the last selection tool that I used. I can click to select the next point and then let go of my Command or Control key and click again with my eyedropper. And you can just keep doing that. Command key, Control key to select the point, and then click with the eyedropper to pick up the color. Do the same thing again and again, and you can see this work is quite time consuming. Let me click on this last point here, go to my direct selection tool and just click. Now this point here, and it's not only quite time consuming, it's quite tedious. Hold down Command or Control again, get the point. Command or Control again, click. And just keep switching back and forth between the direct selection tool and the eyedropper. Let me just keep going here. So this does take a lot of time. And if it was a more complex illustration, I might have multiple gradient meshes to deal with here. And the nice thing about making that rectangle white is I can see that I haven't done anything to this point. So it allows me, without having to go into preview, to see exactly what's going on. Let me just finish up this particular row. Let me hold down my Command key again, go over the top of a point, Command key, Control key on a PC, and you can see that this does take a tremendous amount of time. Well, why don't we go back into preview to see exactly how this looks. Let me hold down my Command key on a Mac, Control key on a PC, and go back into preview. And let me deselect my mesh, and that is pretty cool. Well, that's about it for today. Make sure to stay tuned for more tips, tricks, and tutorials on layersmagazine.com.